She's a backstabbing bitch. Whatever I'm about to say, add like a billion more.
I can't fucking do this shit.
But Daddy, I love him. No. Bitch, show me my merchandise.
Are you real?
You suck, you suck, you suck.
Who the fuck is Maximus?
Titan has a content warning at the beginning of the book. Titan contains depictions of violence, sexual situations, and a financially abusive parent relationship, which some readers may find graphic or otherwise disturbing. The main characters engage in a consensual power exchange. The relationship in this story is not meant to depict real-life best practices.
This really is the Crystals of the Backstabbing Bitch episode.
Welp.
Give me just a second. So, as a heads up, guys, Crystal's an idiot. And I forgot to hit record. So none of our pre-banter got recorded. So you're welcome. You didn't get to hear Ariel find out in real time that I DNF'd this book. Ariel did suffer through the entire book.
I guess everyone didn't have to suffer through me calling you a backstabbing bitch several times.
She's gonna call me it throughout this entire episode. Yeah. So I told Ariel at the beginning because I assumed she would probably want to know ahead of time.
And the reason why she's a backstabbing bitch is more so because I'm jealous, because I also would have preferred to DNF this. Not that it was a bad book, it just wasn't my vibe, because we read out the blurb and there was so much going on in the blurb that the fact that she called him daddy was such a tiny little part of it that we thought it was going to be fine. We didn't realize it was going to be like the central theme of the entire book. And for two people who the whole daddy theme is not our vibe, it was a lot overwhelming.
And like, while we can handle some daddy here and there, this book in the 300 pages had 89 daddy. 89.
Yeah.
89.
And I just want to preface that
I guarantee you most of that's in the beginning of the book. But I don't know how the rest of the book went because I didn't read it all.
I just want to preface that what you're about to hear is me toning down all of that for my own sanity. So just know that whatever I'm about to say, add like a billion more daddy ick and you'll probably have it. The book itself wasn't bad. The gargoyle part was really cool, which is what I was craving. I really wanted a gargoyle read. And like the tail action was really cool. I just not a fan of the daddy stuff. So with that being said, this week, when by we, I mean I, this week, we read Titan by Jillian Graves. And Titan is a romancing his stone novel, which sounded really cool. Just saying.
And at the end of the episode, I want Ariel to guess what percentage of this book I quit.
Titan is a gargoyle. In this book, gargoyles were created by witches over 700 years ago to protect the relic room. The relic room is a place where paranormal creatures hold their most ancient objects of power. 400 years ago, a rogue faction of gargoyles attacked, and all but Titan and his 4 brothers were lost. The relic room and the keystone needed for entry were also lost, presumed to have been pulled into a vortex, gone for good. 3 days ago, for the first time since everything disappeared, the brothers and Titan felt the pull, which is an ingrained need to protect the relic room. They followed the pull to Los Angeles, but only found a residue of magic. Apparently, they were so close to where the keystone had just been shipped in. The recipient was Alvin Harris, who must have handed it off rather quickly, but now we find the brothers have been watching Mr. Harris, trying to find a clue as to who it was given to. They've been taking turns staking out Harris, who is now on a date with a woman who is obviously looking for a sugar daddy.
To the audio listeners who can't see this video, I guarantee you there will be clips somewhere throughout social media of us literally gagging. Ariel just gagged when she said that word. I don't always gag when I say it, but there were times where I was like, I can't fucking do this shit.
Harris takes a phone call, the 5th one of the evening, and it's finally the info that the gargoyles have been waiting for. He gave it to a man named Frederick Fisher, who Harris calls Freddie, and he uses a napkin to write down an address and sticks it in his pocket. After excusing himself to the bathroom, his date takes the pen and shades over the napkin that was underneath to reveal the address, because Harris said it was such a big deal to get an invite to, and makes such a snobby big deal out of it. Titan senses a familiar sense of desperation in the woman, Juliana, and feels like it might be easy to get her to part with the napkin for the right price.
I will say, I was a little confused at the beginning of this book, and it might have just been a me thing. I thought that they had met before, but then like they were both surprised to have met each other not long after this. But I think it was just me when I was reading it. Like it sounded like they had met while she was out with the guy with on that date thing. Like
Oh,
because
no,
he
he
was
was
like
just watching her from his
okay. And
perch.
I thought that she had like clocked him because I think for me, the way that it had read was like, oh, she knows what she's doing. She's doing all this stuff. But like it seemed like she was flirting with him from a distance while also on the
No,
job
he
with the guy.
said that he could feel her in a sense that every time she kind of glanced around, it felt like she was staring right at him.
Got you. I think that's why I was
Like
like,
there was
because
this
then
like
like in the
pull to
next
her.
when like he meets with her, she's like, I don't know who this person is. And I'm like, yeah, but weren't you just eye fucking him like previously? So I was confused.
Yeah, no, she was all Harris.
I was just thrown off by it so much. And this was the beginning of the damn book.
No, yeah. No, I think that was just you. Sorry.
Don't apologize. You've got me for just so long before I just don't know the story.
I'll shock you with all that happens.
Is it just going to be her continuously saying daddy?
But Daddy, I love him. No, hold on.
That's the only context that this is okay.
I know. Titan is going to use the same dating site Harris and Juliana used to meet that evening. We meet Juliana, or Jules, as she likes to go by. She's about to meet her next potential date. Titan. Imagine that. She's nervous, but she's desperate for reasons we don't know yet. So while she has sugar dated before and loves that lifestyle, this is a fast meet even for her. She loves being a sugar baby. Who makes that their job, first of all?
A lot of people.
Like what the fuck?
Surprisingly, a lot of people.
She heads into his penthouse. Security let her up. And it's almost museum-esque. She literally stumbles into the massive man that is Titan and is taken off guard by his appearance and confidence. She's used to feeling like she's leading these first dates. Titan offers her a drink. Juliana asks him to call her Jules. That's what her friends call her. He tells her they aren't friends, and she asks where he's going to take her. He says they're staying in and reminds her that his messages to her said he wanted to talk. This conversation is so awkward as she continues to spin every sentence into a positive date idea. Everything comes to a halt, though, when he gets her to sit down and asks her about Harris and then the napkin. Jules feels tricked. She realizes this isn't going to go anywhere in Sugarland, and we learn that she's worried that she's going to lose her place to live. I almost got in control. I saw you.
I don't know why Sugarland took me out, but I'm gonna try to get through this, I promise.
We learn that she's worried that she's going to lose her place to live and that her why is making it worse. That's making it worse. What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
To be able to get through this.
I got it.
I know.
Post. I should probably change that profile picture at some point. I'll do that now while I'm listening to this beautiful story.
Because you want two dicks, please.
No, we can't ever bring that up.
It goes along with the lots of things in here.
Oh man. We got this. It's fine.
We learn that she is worried that she's going to lose her place to live and that her lawyer is going to drop her, whatever that means. Titan asks her to give him the napkin. She asks for $3,000 for it. He cash apps her. She takes it out of her purse and gives it to him. She's a little pouty and is all like, I thought you were flirting with me earlier when you said that you weren't my friend. He says, you are my friend. I don't know you. And she says, yeah,
Bitch,
but you were
he's paying you. Like,
right? She says, yeah, but you were looking at my tits when you said it. That's suggestive.
does that make you friends? Ariel, is that why we're friends? Because I stare at your tits all the time?
Because we look at each other's boobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, no, I just like the way they look. And then this like turned into like a 180 because he tells her that she's beautiful and she says she knows and he says, "Good. I look at your breasts because I enjoy the way they look in that dress. I look at your ass because I can imagine how it would feel to spank you. And I look at your lips because from the moment I first saw you, I wanted to kiss you." And she feels this pull and they almost kiss before she snaps out of it and tries to leave. Like, but like he was so almost dumbly honest that it was kind of funny. Titan asks her where she's going, and Jules tells him he got what he wanted, so she's leaving. Titan says, "I paid for the night." Then she's kind of upset that the night feels wasted and that she could have been out with someone who would help her further her.
Sugaring.
Yeah, thank you. He says he wants to help. She says she has bills. He says, "I know." He says, "You need a daddy, Juliana. Just for tonight, let me be that for you." What fuck? Where's Angie when we need her?
Honestly, I almost feel like this would have been too much for Angie.
We would have traumatized her.
Like, I feel
Maybe.
like she does like the daddy thing, but I almost feel like this would have even been too much for her.
I kind of want to see a little
Should I
experiment.
text her and tell her, I'm like, you should probably read this and just let us know?
Yes.
I'm on it.
She says, "What do you want from me?" And he says, "I want you for the night and in my bed." And she came here with a long-term arrangement in mind. Clearly, that is not what's being offered. But maybe she can make a night work for her. She says, "My rent is due tomorrow." He holds out his phone with the Cash app open, and she types in 3 months worth of her rent, and he hits send.
Okay, here's the thing. Did she like state up front that it was going to be a long-term situation?
No,
Okay, then why did she go in expecting it to be long-term?
because
Just
that's
saying.
her goal. That's her goal.
Cool. That's her goal, but maybe
Yep.
make those goals known. I don't know what to tell you, you idiot.
She has
Very
she has
strong.
high expectations.
How hot is this woman? Like, is
Huh?
she hot enough to act like this?
Well, apparently she's been in movies and shit. I don't know. So she thanks him with a kiss, and she tries to take it further, and he admonishes her for going too fast, tells her that he told her he would be the one to take care of her. He swipes an artifact off a pedestal and hoists her up, telling her to spread her legs.
That went from 0 to 100.
0 to hero, just like that. He starts to finger her, and when she's about to come, he tells her, "Not yet," and carries her into the bedroom. He tells her to undress, that he wants to see what's his tonight. "Bitch, show me my merchandise." Gross. And he starts to eat her out, and then adds fingers and makes her squirt. She calls him, "Nope, no, don't even. Nope. I forbid it. Nope." She calls him daddy, and she falls asleep, and that is all I have to say about that, or all I will allow Crystal to say about that. Moving on.
You said all of the words about the sentence in separate. I had texted her about this exact scene, and I didn't realize she hadn't got to it yet. It was the beginning of the end for me.
I wish I could say that was the beginning of the end for me.
That's not where I stopped. Let's be full real here. Full real? Words are really difficult. Continue. Deep
When
breaths.
when Jules wakes up, she's feeling all sorts of feelings about the night before and the sleeping man next to her. Her vulnerability causes her to reach out and grab the big emerald ring that looks loose on his finger. She wants to feel a little control. She quickly attempts to get dressed, only to have her efforts thwarted when she finds a gigantic gargoyle where Titan was. She gets a closer look when it moves and says, "You really shouldn't have done that, Juliana." She goes, "What the hell are you?"
It's giving, you're supposed to stay out of the West Wing. Is that the right wing? I don't remember if that's the right wing. Sorry. This is
he says,
definitely not Beauty and the Beast.
"I'm a gargoyle." Juliana is terrified, hunched into a ball in a chair, and Titan asks her why she stole his ring. She asks if he's real and how it's possible. He explains that magic created him. She asks if he's made of real stone and starts to touch him. Girl.
No, bitch. I am made
She just
of
like runs, yeah, hands
candy.
along him, like all seductively.
Are you real?
And then just starts like
He's right
petting
in
him
front of you.
basically
Of
and like
course he's real.
and
Jesus.
she's surprised to learn that he only turns into solid stone when necessary. Titan hears his brothers arrive on the balcony and encourages a naked Jules to hide behind him. Eden, their human assistant, is also arriving through the elevator. Eden sees Jules's head peek out and gasps. The brothers want to talk business. Eden hands Jules her bag and asks Jules to come with her to let the boys talk. She says no, she's staying put. And they start to talk about the Freddy situation. He's having a big party for his new piece in 2 weeks. Titan says he's not waiting 2 weeks. One of his brothers, Steele, says there's a smaller party for a movie wrap on Saturday. Titan plans to blend in as a party guest. Jules starts laughing. She thinks this is absurd. No way, even in his human form, is he going to blend. She says, "You aren't great at interacting with humans." And he says, "Fine, you'll be my date." She's in. Titan says, "Everybody out." And they get dressed, and Titan uses his tail to pilfer his ring back.
Yes. Also, this was another part that I had a problem with. Because again, maybe it's just me. But he said, well, then why don't you do it? And then she said yes. And then he was like vehemently against it.
So because he kind of was like,
Was he
she
joking?
was, yeah,
Okay.
because she
Because I
was
was like,
like,
bro, you just literally said it, so you should not be surprised. And she
no,
said,
yeah, no,
okay.
she was all like, basically like, you suck, you suck, you suck, you can't even talk to humans, and he
Gotcha.
was basically like, well, then why don't you come if it's such a,
No.
and then she was like, fine, I will, and he was like, no, you are not coming into this dangerous
Well,
situation.
isn't it just the consequences of your action?
Basically, I didn't like how that went down either, but that's what
Okay. I was annoyed.
I know. I
I'm
also had
sorry.
to read that twice
I
because I was
did.
like,
I read it like 3 times.
So he urges her to never forget that he's a monster, even when he puts his ring back on for the mission. And he asks her how she wants this to work. And she says that they can continue for 20 grand. He says from now until the morning after the party, going to be her as his baby girl doing whatever her daddy asks. Puke. They agree and kiss, and he tells her he needs to punish her for the stealing. He spanks her. She enjoys this, and then he tells her to get on her knees. She sucks his dick, and then he tells her that her punishment is that there will be no touching herself until he says she can't. Titan has to leave and meet with the high priestess of the local coven that has been helping them with the keystone situation and with his brothers. They solidify the plan to go to the wrap party, and they're concerned about his date. Titan assures them that the relic room will always come first. Jules overhears this as she stepped out to text and send her lawyer a payment. She tries to convince herself that she's happy that things are transactional, like she wanted in the first place. But her thoughts are interrupted by her phone vibrating. It's her mother calling. Apparently, Jules is a child actor, and she's been tied up in a lawsuit with her mother and ex manager, who apparently are now an item, to get her trust with her earnings. Eden finds her, and they head to do some online shopping for the whole wrap party thing. That evening, Jules is surprised by a package with a note saying, "Wear these tonight." It's a dress and shoes from Titan. Once she's dressed and ready, Titan literally scoops her up and flies her up to the roof. It's Titan's favorite spot. He asks her how she got into this money predicament. She tells him about her mom and the lawsuit. He offers to do some investigating. She assures him that she wants to do this on her own and that they have a good case. His tail starts moving its way up her body. She likes this. He asks if she was a good girl and listened not to touch herself. She says yes, and then he fucks her with his tail. The next night, it's time for the wrap party. Jules and Titan are mingling. Titan can feel the pull. Jules spots Freddie. He recognizes her from a teen show that she did. She charms him into talking about art to get an invite into an unveiling next week. They learn that the keystone isn't in the plan to be on display. Jules is to go as Titan's date, which means another week of their arrangement. Jules distracts a guard so that Titan can be sure of the keystone's location for when they come back. Harris is also at the party and is not nice to Jules. Titan sees this situation coming back down the stairs and puts Harris in his place and gets Jules outside, where he takes off his ring, transforms, scoops her up, and flies her off to some cave. Because, that's normal.
That's rational.
Titan is frustrated, feeling like he should have gotten to Jules and Harris sooner. She tries to tell him he has nothing to apologize for. He warns her to stop looking at him so heatedly because he won't be gentle right now.
Has he been gentle the entire time?
She doesn't want gentle.
Duh.
His tail comes up and wraps around her throat. Titan starts going down on her. Jules grabs his horns and holds on, fucks her, and then uses his tail to fuck her ass at the same time. And then Titan just watches her as she sleeps.
The tail use, though, is so good.
Fantastic. Yep.
That's what we wanted in books with tails.
And yeah, this gargoyle thing would have been fantastic if,
There was about
I
70 less daddies.
Maybe while I'm talking, you could look up to see if any of the other books in the series aren't daddy books. Dread, one of the brothers, shows up at the cave entrance with news. Apparently, the gargoyle who led the rebellion survived. They thought everyone else had perished and was there last night. Titan asks Dread to fly a sleeping Jules back to the penthouse. Jules wakes up alone in Titan's bed, and it seems the whole penthouse. Her mother calls again and convinces Jules to meet for lunch. She gets ready and sends a text to Eden to let her know where she is going. Jules's mother pretends to be worried about Richard, the ex-manager and her guy, about something he's doing regarding the case. Apparently, they heard that she was with Titan at the party, and they're trying to basically Britney Spears her. The mom is tricking her and trying to record a confession from her. I'm just going to give you a minute.
The Britney Spears her. I'm sorry.
Did you get that far? Hold on.
Nope.
Okay. But legit. They're trying to
oh boy. The sentence was funny. That is all.
Jules sees through this and leaves, and Titan swoops in and meets her in an alley and assures her that his brother Steele already has their phones tapped. They got this. Titan talks to Steele a little later, and apparently it's worse than they thought. Richard used the same dating app to catfish Jules for proof. Steele and Titan head to Richard and the mom's place to wipe their computers. They find all the evidence just as Richard arrives home. Steele urges them to leave, but Titan wants to confront Richard. He makes it clear that he is to give her the money and not contact her again, or he will come for him. Richard calls her a has-been slut, and then Titan sees Red attacking Richard until Steele has to pull him off and out of there. Titan needs to see Jules. He finds her in the tub, where he surrounds her and starts to wash her and work her up, and then he fucks her with his tail. He gets her out of the tub and tells her to get on her knees and clean his cock, and then he fucks her against the wall. Jules wakes up to her phone being blown the fuck up. She has a hysterical message from her mother talking about a hired hitman and attempted murder. She yells at Titan and goes to hit him, and he tells her, "If you want to slap me, you better do it when I'm in my human form, because I won't let you break your hand. I protect what's mine." She says she's not his, and she's going home until the party. Jules's lawyer calls and says that she should have everything settled in a couple months since the other side dropped the claim. Jules feels robbed of this moment because after 10 years of fighting for this, she wasn't the one who was able to win it. Titan was.
Realistically, none of the money that she used was hers.
I thought the same thing.
The principles are a little...
I thought the same thing. That's just us.
I'm not a sugar baby, and I'm now currently too old to be one. So,
she's 30. And
right?
that's only
That's
4
how old I
years.
am, right? What year is this?
Yeah. Yeah, you're 34.
I'm not cute enough to be a sugar baby. I have too much of a mouth. I have an attitude.
Titan, meanwhile, is meeting with the witches and his brothers, finalizing their plan to get back the Keystone. They all arrive at the party with the plan in place. Freddie spots Jules and whisks her away. Titan is concerned because he doesn't feel the pull, just Jules. His brother confirms that they still feel it. It's still in the same location. Freddie takes Jules upstairs and she watches him open the vault to get the piece that he is to unveil tonight. She sees the keystone in there. A guard tells Freddie of a problem and he goes off to handle it. Jules takes the keystone and puts it in her clutch and gets out of there. She's going to take it because Titan fucked her over. And so she's going to take something important to him.
Oh no, he paid for all of your things. He really fucked you.
Maximus finds her outside and demands
Who
the
the fuck is
keystone.
Maximus?
Did I not talk about him before?
Yeah, I don't recognize the name. Who the fuck is
Maybe I didn't say the name. Yeah, shit. I just said apparently the gargoyle who led the. So back it up. Back it the fuck up.
like who the fuck is Maximus?
My bad. Maximus, he's the guy who led the rebellion that they found was still alive. Maximus finds her outside and demands the keystone. She reaches into her purse and grabs her phone and chucks it into the street and runs in the opposite direction to make him think that she chucked the keystone like a dog.
Like a dog?
Apparently it works because she runs away into a parking lot and hides like beneath a car. But Maximus finds her in the parking lot and corners her along with two other gargoyles who are apparently also still alive and drags her out into the parking lot. Titan follows his new pull of Juliana out into the parking lot
Gag me.
because he senses Jules' fear. He rips off his ring, throws it to the ground, and transforms, which you just throwing away your ring, man.
At least like keep it on you somewhere.
Right? Like put it in your pocket or something? I don't know.
Right.
And he comes upon
Oh, you mean have logic?
at least put it on your loincloth or something. And he comes upon 3 gargoyles surrounding her. Titan punches the lights out of one and squares off with Maximus, tearing his wing, and then starts beating up the other. Maximus wrestles the clutch away from Jules, high in the air. Titan's brothers are coming, so Maximus rounds up his dudes and books it, dropping a scared Jules. Titan catches her. Turns out, though, it's okay, because Jules hid the keystone under a nearby car while she was under the car. All Maximus got away with was her clutch. That was anticlimactic. They decide to take off to the safety of the penthouse before Maximus realizes what has happened. Titan carries her into the dining room and sets her on the table to clean her up. They have a long talk about how frustrated she was by his interventions and how his pull has changed. He no longer has the pull for the relic room and the keystone. His pull is just for her. She asks him to kiss her. He asks if it's only a kiss she wants. She says no. He fucks her and lubes up his tail for her ass. And they talk about how perfect they are for each other and how this could last forever. They tell each other they love each other. And that's that. We have an epilogue that's a month later. Jules has officially moved in. The paperwork has gone through on her court case. And the gargoyles and the witches are trying to find the relic room. And that's the end.
And there is no other book on Amazon. The second book's not even on there. So
When did this one come out?
last year.
And the next one's not out yet.
I can research a little bit harder if you want.
I'm just surprised.
Let me look.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Rook. I had to go to her actual page.
Oh, they're not connected?
No.
Is one of the brothers.
Yeah. It just says coming soon. There's no date. The tropes are forced proximity, primal play, now run, plus size and tall heroine, size difference, tail play, co-workers, friends to lovers, monster appendages as restraints and used in penetration, outdoor sex, the muddier the better. That's it.
So not daddy.
As far as I know, nothing about daddy.
But daddy, I love him.
A primal gargoyle romance is what that one
See, I could get into that.
Okay, what chapter do you think I stopped at?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And the folks at home, you can play too before we give you the answer.
I'm assuming you got some of the tail play because you mentioned the tail play. Is it when he went off on Harris and at that end of that chapter?
I don't know what chapter that is.
I don't either.
I will tell you. I
I'm just asking if
finished
that's what happened.
chapter 7, and that was it.
What happened at the end of chapter 7?
Good question. I was
These were long chapters, by
the
the way.
first tail scene, and that was it.
That's when you chose to be
And then
right
I
before
was
the rap
done.
party?
Yep. It was just because he said, look at me, baby girl. His marble eyes are black and hot, reflecting my release back at me. The anger and relief shine in my eyes too. And that was it, and I was done. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I think it was because she goes, I want to feel you, daddy, all of you inside of me. And he goes, soon enough, baby girl, I'm big and you need to work up to me. And I was like, I know. And I was done. In my phone app, that's 35%. I made it to page 105.
Yeah, these were long chapters, by the way. I was not a fan of that. And they definitely had places that they could have easily been split because we even had like dual point of view that would change in between chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not I like shorter chapters. I like me some shorter chapters.
So, Ariel, who was your favorite character?
Maybe Dread, one of the brothers who was just like judgy the whole
I'm
time.
just gonna say dread like the feeling.
Also that. Also that. What about you?
Well, I have to say that my favorite character was
In your less than 100 pages.
the tail.
Yeah, I'll go with that too. That works for me.
Option,
Okay, thanks, bye. That works for me.
Okay.
Who's your least favorite?
Everybody. I hated this whole thing.
I want to go with Jules because
Okay.
I think that he would have been fine if she hadn't have brought up and perpetuated the whole daddy thing because he didn't know better.
Yeah. Agree. Okay, so hold please. Amazon gives us a 4.2 and Goodreads gives us a 3.8. What do you give it, Ariel?
So it's hard for me because if it wasn't for all the daddy stuff, the book itself wasn't that bad. I probably would have rated it like a 3, but like
But that's not what we're here for. That is not the
no.
it could have been this. We need your actual rating.
I'm probably gonna give it a 2. Sorry.
Cool.
Not sorry.
Why are you sorry?
I said sorry, not sorry.
Okay.
So your rating is DNF.
So my rating is yes, a DNF because I could
You
not
did
fucking
not read
do it.
Because you did not read it.
I read 35% of the book.
That's not even
100
half.
pages.
Not even half.
I was trying so hard. Yeah, the amount of the D word that was in this book up to that point. It's fine in other books, but it was too much. There was just
because it was like the central theme.
It was too much. And I should have understood that from like the name of the book. It is literally a daddy dom romance. But at the same time,
come on.
There was so much.
So much. It's our bad, but like.
How about survivability, Ariel? Would you survive?
We're doing that first.
Oh, what were we do? What did we do after?
That's okay. Cucumber usually.
Oh, just kidding. Well,
what is your cucumber rating, Crystal?
You know, they're pretty high for what contrast to my actual rating of this book. There was because there was stuff.
I loved the tail.
Problem. It was like the use if she just stop if I ignore any of the words coming out of their mouths, it was great.
But I felt myself like skimming all the scenes because of the words coming out of their mouths.
And that's the problem.
So because of that, I'm giving it a 4.
Okay. I'll give it about a 4 too. I also found myself skimming because of the aggressive amount of words.
Okay, your survivability.
I fucking don't even know because I didn't even finish the damn book.
Okay? I think it would be fine.
I would be fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can just go along with the
but
theme
I wouldn't
that we've
be
had.
a sugar baby.
I
would make different choices, I think.
She also
I would probably just get a job.
She needed to make her expectations a little bit more clare. Like if you're looking for a long-term
couldn't she have just gotten a
baby
job
relationship, why don't you just say that? Huh?
Couldn't she have just gotten a job to pay for this lawyer?
She 100% could have gotten a job to pay for the lawyer, but why not take other men's
just
money?
Gotten a job?
So maybe. Okay. I'm just saying.
Couldn't she have just gotten a job?
She could have gotten a job, but instead, let's just take men's money. What else do we got?
Let's find out what else we got now.
Oh, God. Hopefully, something that I can finish. Oh, it was disappointing, like some of the men I used to date. Anyways, so let's see what we're doing for next week. The wheel is still relatively big, but it's getting smaller and smaller every week.
Every time.
Every time. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right,
Are
let's
you
do
ready?
this. No, are you ready for it? Bam,
I am ready for
bam,
it.
bam. Audited by the Anubis. I think I picked this book.
You did.
I did, yeah.
We're reading another like monster-esque book
Ooh,
this week.
we're doing some interesting stuff. So, Audited by the Anubis. It's a monster romance and it's a monstrous meet cute.
Hopefully we don't have another daddy
Oh
situation.
God, I don't think so. So, Audited by the Anubis by Wendy Go. Audited by a monster. Sounds awful, right? I knew I shouldn't have opened my door, but when a 7-foot descendant of a death god comes calling, you answer. Especially if this Anubis is from the government, but I don't have anything to hide from the IRS, right? Right? Turns out my mom, aka my business accountant, does. Now, every time I turn
Imagine
around,
the IRS
he's
showing up
there,
and it's a freaking giant Anubis.
assessing, advising, arousing me until I can't think straight. But I don't need a stranger to fix my problems. I'm doing just fine on my own. And I swear the only thing crumbling in my life is the topping on my amazing fruit cobblers. Will I let Anu pass the defenses I've built around my heart, or is my fall about to get taxing? Oh, that's funny.
This
So,
one's going
yeah,
to be probably a cheesy rom-com.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool. So, yeah, join us next week for Audited by the Anubis. And I don't know why I said it like
I
that.
don't know why you said that either. But please
My
excuse
brain's
Crystal and make sure to keep reading.
and keep it smutty.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.